colleagues of mine for the excellent work you're doing leading the Catch Up programme. I won't go into the details of Catch Up. I know you've heard from VVOB and other Catch Up experts, but I just wanted to mention one point, which is that the Catch Up programme, of course, is a remedial learning programme. So it helps students who have fallen behind to catch up to the right level. So if they've fallen behind in mainstream classes, they are back up to their grade 2 or grade 3 level where they should be. But we must remember that the ultimate goal of Catch Up is for it to go out of business. So that would mean that Catch Up lessons no longer need to exist, because all children are learning at their expected level in the classroom. They are moving through the grades as they would be expected to do. So if Catch Up was to go out of business, it would signify the education system is strong enough, it's working properly, all the components are functioning together to ensure children are learning literacy and numeracy in the normal classroom at their expected level. And finally, I think that your parliamentary inquiry is the best time for this to have happened across the continent. There's never been a more momentous time across Africa where countries, governments, their leaders, parliaments are acting to ensure children are learning literacy and numeracy. And getting the basics right, children are more likely to stay in school, go on to further education, enter the workforce and earn more, and be a more productive member of society, contributing meaningfully to the world. And this helps build a country's biggest, greatest asset, its people, its human capital. So the political leadership that you're showing in Parliament is also shown by your head of state, by President Hichilema, is also shown by the government and by civil society partners. But across the continent, your inquiry and your enthusiasm to act is part of a much bigger movement. Evidence-based programs in different countries, including Zambia, are being scaled up, so Catch Up is just getting bigger and bigger, and that's the same in other countries that are using similar approaches to Zambia. Maybe it's the teach at the right level methodology or the structured pedagogy approach. Lots of countries are scaling up these programs that are showing learning levels can and will improve if we use evidence, and we as political leaders can drive that change. So another example would be of Zambia's excellent progress is last year Zambia was the first country to launch their campaign for foundational learning with the African Union and UNICEF. So this was called the End Learning Poverty campaign. And one of your honourable members, Honourable Brenda Nurenda, she was able to attend the launch of this campaign. And this campaign is part of the Africa Union's Decade of Education and very much shows the drive across the continent and the want to align countries behind a similar mandate, which is to ensure every child learns to read and count in primary school. So just lastly, in Zambia, your sustained political leadership and the continued focus on evidence, as I've mentioned, a commitment ingrained into your party manifestos as you now go on to campaign towards the election. Learning outcomes can and they will improve. And I'm just going to share a short quote from President Hichilema as he wrote an article last year about urging decisive action behind learning. And he said, "We must hold ourselves accountable and each other accountable for our children's learning. We must act decisively and with urgency to help our children build a strong foundation. We owe it to them. Every child has the right to learn, to grow and to fulfill their potential. This is not only vital for Zambia's future, but for the progress of the continent as a whole. Parliament is now demonstrating that it's acting on the President's call, a welcome and groundbreaking step that sets an example to parliaments across Africa and beyond. So I'm very excited to see the results of this inquiry and to continue following your investigation. Your service is highly commendable, and it's you in Parliament that really have the power to ignite change. So thank you all for your dedication, for your service, and for your leadership on the issue, and it's a privilege to be here today. I'm available for any questions, should they come now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so members of Parliament will ask you questions and seek clarification if there is any. Honorable members, any questions? My Vice Chair, have a question? Yes.
Thank you so much, Beth, for your submission. I just want to find out if you have shared your findings and recommendations with the Ministry of Education to ensure that there's an improvement in the foundational learning. Thank you.
Maybe we can note that question. Maybe there's another question. Another question? Yeah, you may go ahead and answer that question, Beth.
Thank you, Honourable Perry. Thank you, Honourable Chairman. Yes, we have shared some of the findings with the Ministry of Education. We are working very closely with ZANEC, who I know are very much engaged with the ministry. Of course, welcome further collaboration with the minister and his peers. But when I was in Colombo Central with Honourable Camboni, I did speak with Father Tamba Tamba, who is the, I'm sure you know, the Vice Director of Primary Education, I believe, or early years, if I might be wrong on that. So I had a conversation with him about some of these findings and sharing this global evidence with him, which I have shared with via email with him. So, but I would welcome any further engagement with the ministry to share the same recommendations that I've shared with members today. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, may I take this opportunity to thank you. Your contributions are highly appreciated, and we really appreciate your concern with the education system all over Africa and in our country as well. So thank you very much for your contribution. We will add this. Our job is to write a report from witnesses, and whatever you have said, we'll include it in our final report. I hope you'll be able to hear our final report. Now that we have come to an end of our submission, I now take our wake up 12 and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kamari. Thank you, honourable members.
Thank you very much. We've come to an end now.
Well, thank you so much for being with us on Parliament Television, and this is where we come to the end of today's live broadcasting of the Committee on Education, Science and Technology. But remember, later on in the day, we'll have, in the afternoon I should make mention, we'll have another committee that will be broadcasting live on Parliament Television. So that was Ms. Beth Gum, who is Senior Policy and Advocacy Advisor from the International Parliamentary Network for Advocacy. She was on Zoom from London, and she was making her submission regarding the subject that is under discussion before this committee, the Committee on Education, Science and Technology, and this is they're reviewing the status of foundational literacy, numerous levels in primary schools. Earlier on, we had another witness, that was UNICEF Zambia, and we had Catalina Wapenga, who is Chief Education Officer, and also had the Higher Education Loans and Scholarship Board making their submission, and their subject was the presentation of the statistical analysis of the 2024 first-year student loan applications and awards, and they did share with the committee on the modalities that they use when awarding these committees and the number of students that have been awarded scholarships for the year 2024. On behalf of my two sign language interpreters, that's Chola Kauma and Jason Manda, and indeed not forgetting the entire production crew, my name is Paul Sentendovi. For now, we'll take a break. We'll resume broadcasting live another committee at 14:30 later in the afternoon. God bless, and continue watching Parliament Television.